It's time to strap our boots on. This is a perfect day to die. Wipe the blood out of our eyes. In this life there's no surrender, and there's nothing left for us to do. Find the strength to see this through. We are the ones who will never be broken. With our final breath, we'll fight to the death. We are soldiers, we are soldiers.
Hi, everybody. It's Daphne here with Laura Entertainment. We are sitting down with the very comical Matthew Bloome. How you doing?
I am doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. For the most part, busy, crazy busy.
Busy? Well, it looks like you're. I know you're in your house, but it really looks like a wedding scene. Like it looked like flowers are happening. You have the white gown behind you. I'm like, who's getting married right now? What is happening?
No, this is my furry blanket. I've got
I
this
want
thing
to.
about furry blankets. I love furry blankets. I don't know why. It's
I want
crazy.
to hire you as my wedding coordinator right
Hey, I'll do it.
now. I'll do. Done.
I'm
Done.
playing it for you. I'm down.
Well, you do it for free because I don't want you to get paid on anything you do. No
Oh,
matter what you do in
oh
life,
yeah, I know.
please don't get paid.
Will work for free for fucking ever. All right. So tell us about yourself and your time in the military. Where'd you serve?
My myself and my time. Okay, so I probably had one of the easiest military careers ever. I was in from '95 to '99. I was the poster child Marine. Like they loved me. Like I could do no wrong whatsoever when I was in the Marine Corps. Um, yeah, it was a phenomenal time actually. Um, I started out in I was I'm a 2542, which is a comm specialist, and then so I went to school in 29 Palms, and then they sent me to Japan for a bit. And as soon as I got to Japan, there was unfortunately there was a unfortunate incident where two Marines and a Navy guy were accused of raping a young Japanese national. So they put me on this public relations team to go out and talk to all the locals and pretend like we're not all bad guys. So that was pretty fun and pretty easy.
Said pretend like we're all not bad
I mean,
guys.
eh, I mean,
Don't
some
hold
of
it
them,
against us.
some of them. There's always one bad apple in the bunch, but it's just that's in anything you do.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't matter what you're doing. I mean, it could be the dumbest job ever in the world, and there's always going to be an idiot, no matter.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
just try not to be that idiot. That's my job is try to be smarter than at least one other guy, so I don't get in trouble. That was my philosophy the whole time.
and if you're doing really good, you could be smarter than two other guys.
Yeah, but then they want things from you. You don't want to you don't want to overachieve. You don't want to overachieve. You want to be right there in the middle. No, it was again, it was fantastic. I was a lifeguard for MWR when I was making more money outside the Marine Corps than I was when I was in the Marine Corps. Unfortunately, I did end up breaking my back while I was over there because I was rappelling of a helicopter and my line snapped, and so I fell and ended up breaking my back. I would not suggest doing that. That's not the greatest. But at the time, I was so physically fit and in such good condition. Like we had no clue that my back was broken, and I didn't find out till a couple years later. So, yeah. But other than that, it was
You didn't
phenomenal.
find out your back was broken for a couple years?
Yeah, no, I didn't. Well, we also had. I don't want to. I'm not going to speak poorly, but the medical staff at most of my bases were I don't want to say they were less than top notch, but they were definitely less than top notch. I I kept going in. I'm like, it just doesn't feel right. It really hurts a lot. They're like, ah, it's a lumbar strain. You'll be fine. You know, rub some dirt on it, walk it off. You're good. You're good. I'm like, okay, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. You're probably right.
Here's
And
some
then
Tylenol.
as soon as I went to, yeah, it's ibuprofen in the military. They don't give you Tylenol. And then as soon as I went to a real doctor or an outside doctor, they're like, how did you get here? You have a broken spine. And I was in emergency surgery within 15 minutes.
Wow,
Yeah, now 6 surgeries later and a lot of titanium in my back. I'm somewhat back to normal.
that is crazy. That it was a whole year. So the you said you were
It
in
was
Japan
actually 3 years.
for a bit.
It was like 3 years before we actually figured out like how
Wow.
devastatingly bad it was.
Did that happen in Japan?
That happened in yeah, right before I left Japan. That's when it happened because I was doing some pararescue and water survival stuff, and I was a big combat swim guy back then.
Yeah.
So most of my time was me in the water. So
Wow. So how do you like Japan? My uncle served over there in Japan. Actually, it's where he met his first wife. He said it's really, really cool over there.
you know, I loved it. I loved it, and but I don't want to say it was I don't want to say I'm not the typical Marine, but I enjoy going out and doing things. And again, I was on the public relations team and camp guard and all those things. So like I was always out in town and hanging out with people, and I got to drive everywhere and do things that other people couldn't do. So but I really enjoyed it. And I know a good portion of the military, whether it's the Marines or the Army or the Air Force, uh they don't like to leave the base for some reason. They're comfortable on base. They have every all the amenities they need there, so they don't really venture out. Maybe they're afraid that they're going to get in trouble or whatever the case is. But
Mhm.
um I find like a lot of people don't actually go and explore the countries that they're in when they're while they are serving, which kind of sucks because it was amazing. They had the cherry blossom festival, and again, I did a lot of scuba diving, and the diving was phenomenal out there. So I loved it, and so and I was there. I was in Yokosuka for a little bit, which is mainland Japan, but I was mainly in Okinawa, which Okinawa is not the greatest spot in the world. It's not a lot of high life going on there. I mean, there is Sin City right outside the gates, which has got the world record for the most bars in the square block. And um,
Damn.
so if you like getting drunk and talking to people with broken English, that's the place to go.
So what's it been like for you since you've been out?
Um, as you mean just like getting back into the community and
Yeah.
like how was my transition? Mine was fairly easy. Again, although I was only in the Marine Corps for 4 years, and I mean, I still have a tremendous bond with everyone I served with, and I'm in touch with a lot of them, especially because as a lot of people know, like PTSD runs rampant with a lot of my guys saw a lot of bad stuff, and so luckily, I feel like comedy and laughter is really the best medicine. So whenever they're feeling down, I still get the calls at 3 a.m. and the of my fellow devil dogs like in trouble or whatever. So it's I transitioned pretty easily, but I've got a lot of friends that didn't, and it's nice to know that even when you get out, you still have that brotherhood to like and support to help you through things. It's kind of like I guess that I could equate it to like being like on drugs or something. Like you don't want to go seek help from someone that hasn't experienced it before, and they have. So it's easier to lean on another fellow Marine or soldier or airman or whatever it is. So
So
it's been all right, and luckily with me, when I got out, I did do some regular jobs, and I was the regional director for Morgan Stanley when I got out, and I had some phenomenal corporate jobs before I switched and decided I wanted to throw away all my money and go into comedy. But comedy's been phenomenal for me because I do get to go do USO tours, and I do go to a lot of the bases, and Uh, I'm part of the Veterans of Comedy, and we do a lot of shows for VFWs and places like that. So, and most of my shows, whether I'm in Vegas or LA or wherever I'm at, I always have at least one show that is completely free for all veterans, and I always do a big Veterans Day show. So it's really nice, and it's nice to kind of give back, and you never really get rid of you know that sense of pride and everything else from serving. So it's helped me out tremendously in life. Besides the back issue, but
Yeah.
even that now, after about 20 years, I finally did get my disability to go up for it. So now it's I don't want to say it's paying off, but finally after a lot of years of a lot of stuff going on, they're finally taking care of some stuff. So which is good.
So where are you at right now? Like, are you in
So
LA?
I'm in. So I live in Phoenix now, or Chandler. It's a suburb of Phoenix. I was living half in LA and half in Phoenix, but when COVID hit, I was like, there's really no reason for me to be in LA anymore. It's kind of gone downhill quite a bit. Um, so now I'm just roasting away in the 116-degree heat of Phoenix.
There is an event you might be
Helping.
interested in. Actually, it's coming up. Um, it's an adopt a vet program, and
I would love to be adopted. I've already been adopted once. I'm adopted originally, but so I've got some, I got a lot of experience being an adoptee. So if anybody wants to adopt me, feel free.
I'm gonna put the link up, and it could be possible. I actually might be out there for that. Because this was just brought to me last night, and so I know the a little bit about it, but it was kind of late. So I know it's going to happen. It's going to be in Las Vegas. I know it's April 27th through the 30th, and it's a public speaking event. Um, the details are going to be on the link that I'm going to put up, so you'll be able to better understand what the hell I'm talking about, because I'm still not familiar with all of that. But I am mentioning it to people to get that word out there. You know what I mean? So,
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
but
And
definitely,
anything you and I'm joking about being adopted, but like if you need me for anything for I mean I am adopted, but if you need me for anything, like I said, Vegas is a second home for me. I'm Jimmy Kimmel's out there quite a bit, and I used to have my own show out there. So if you need any help or anything else out there, please let me know, and I will definitely be out there. It's a 4.5 hour drive for me, so it's very easy. So
yeah, I grew up out there. I did. It was interesting. It was actually fun because a lot of people think that there's not much to do out there, which I mean, a lot of people also are going to the casinos, but they're like, oh, there's nothing to do for the kids or whatever. But since I live there, yeah, there is. There is. People just don't know about it. We would go four wheeling all the time out there by Nellis.
oh
And
yeah.
we
Well,
went
Henderson
there.
is a very big city. It's not. I mean, it's just like anything. I mean, I feel like there's a lot more to do in Vegas for kids than Ohio. Um,
There ain't shit in Ohio, man.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's always something to do there. I mean, whether it's shows or yeah, the strip is one thing. But people that live in Vegas, it's kind of like when you live in LA. Like I didn't go to the beach that often because I just didn't want to deal with the traffic and all the nonsense. Like I like going when people visit. Like I'd go to the beach, but when you're there all the time, unless you have a beach house and it's very convenient, like you're not going to the beach all the time when you live in California. It's the same thing if you live in Vegas. You're not going to the strip unless it's a special occasion, like to stay away from it. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, every once in a while we would go. I was too young to do anything like fun as far as that when I lived there, but we did hella fun things like my sister and brother back then. We decided we were actually going to go to like Havasu, Arizona, and it was right after Sam Kinison died. And the cops pulled over. I think it was my sister driving that time. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, they thought that they kidnapped me. So they had to contact my parents.
is your sister black? What's happening?
They did. They thought that my brother and sister kidnapped me because we were going to Lake Havasu for the weekend. Yeah, it was so funny.
You look nothing like your. See, again, I'm adopted by an extremely white rich family, which if you get adopted, that's the way to go. But like, so I look nothing like my family. So like, I can get if they thought that I was stolen. Uh, but do you not look like your sister? I'm confused. What happened here?
No, no, actually, I don't. Um, because she has dark hair, and then my brother had dark hair. They have the same mom, same dad, and me and my other brother have same mom, same dad, and then the rest
Oh,
of
okay.
it's like a mixture, like a blended part. But no, at that time, because I was younger, I had blonde hair, and my sister was dark brunette, tan, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, my brother, he was like, I think 17, maybe 18 then. And we were just going there, to have fun. But I just thought it was so funny that the cops basically shook him down in the middle of the desert, you know?
Very fun. I mean, that was the place to be. That's where like MTV was at every single spring break, and some like Havasu is it's a fun time.
Hell, let me ask you a question since you still live out there. Okay, do they still serve those Mai Tais where you need two IDs to get them? They're like a bucket. They come in a bucket, and you gotta have 2 people that are 21 to get that drink. That was then.
Oh, in Vegas?
No, in Lake Havasu.
Oh, I would love to tell you that sounds correct. I am 6'4" and fairly large, so they only take my ID. I think I count as two people, maybe three, depending upon the shadow of the day.
It was funny, that was the first time I ever drank any I was underage, but back in the day, didn't care, nobody cared. So, it was like, I think I was, like, 14, and we killed a bucket of Mai Tai on that lake. Then I went swimming.
And then we drowned, and then I got kidnapped by my sister. It was good times.
Yeah.
It is amazing how much like alcohol that we get out here in the desert when like really that's the worst thing for us. Like we're so dehydrated. I'm like, I'll take these 17 pictures of margarita, please. Extra salt. Let me make sure that I drown today in the lake.
Yeah, no shit. So, okay, you said, I mean, basically, your tour was pretty easy outside of you breaking your back. I
Right.
mean,
Other than that, it's pretty much easy. And then after that was Japan. After that, I went to like Thailand, Korea, Australia for a little bit. And then I came back stateside for a little bit to close down El Toro base and start up Miramar. Um, and it was the grind. Like I don't have horrific war stories or anything like that.
yeah.
I mean, I did spend some time in the desert as well, but like it as far as everyone else I know, they had it much harder than I did. That's for sure. So
Yeah, I mean, everybody's story is going to be different. Nobody's going to have the same story, but I mean, there's something that you all have in common. You guys served, you know,
right,
which
right,
is more than I can
and
say for a lot of younger people nowadays,
right,
really.
and my son also he's in the Marine Corps currently. He's active duty. He's just about to get attached to HMX or the Marine One. He's going to be on the presidential helicopter. So he followed in my footsteps too, even though I probably told him not to. He still he still want to be like dad. So it does stay in the family quite a bit. And I mean, I know for him, like just watching how prideful and just um like in any event, like if you're around other fellow servicemen or just out in public, you can tell people that served versus people that didn't. And I think it is a huge benefit to serve for a little bit. I mean, it teaches you so much. There's nothing like raising the American flag on foreign soil and feeling like just the rush of I won't say patriotism, but like it's just a feeling that's undescribable. And I think every American probably felt that way for like 3 days after 9/11, and then they forgot. But like that's pretty much how you feel most of the time when you're serving.
Yeah. Yeah. I wear a lot of patriotic, I mean, like, even though I'm independent, but military's big with me. I mean, we've got 3 military kids. Oh my god, then I had so many in my family that was in the military. But I wear these shirts, and they're badass, because I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I'm going to say whatever I want to say. Nobody's going to stop me. I don't care how much they try. They can try, but it's not going to happen. And I have like one
Really,
sweat.
you really don't come across that way at all. That's weird. Hmm.
There's one on there that says it says fuck your feelings basically, but it don't say the F. It's got this dude doing the Y. It's got your feelings. And then I have this one that says cancel culture in a big old circle through it like that. I don't care. You know what I mean? If you get offended, you're a wimp. Come the fuck on, chill. You know, that's just my
Uh,
outlook on these people. Calm down. Calm
well,
down.
and that's the thing is we're in this PC culture now, and it's really bad. Like I mentioned my son's in the Marine Corps, and
Mhm.
his boot camp versus my boot camp is like night and day. Like it is like the amount of Karens that complained and made it like so soft, and we can't say things to people, like you can't like I don't know, everything is just so backwards now when it
Say
really
whatever I'm gonna
isn't.
say. I don't care. If they get offended, then just here's the bottle. Go cry
But
somewhere.
right, well,
Because
and here's the thing, you can't be offended. Like when you are in a combat situation, you're not thinking about that's another person's feelings or that's another person's kid. Like you're thinking this guy is going to kill me. If you start pausing and being like, oh, I wonder, how he feels, then you're dead. Like it's not something that like that could just be like, oh, let's take it easy on this kid because he doesn't want to get yelled at by a drill instructor or whatever, or I don't want him to hike for 2 miles because he might get a blister. Like it's insane. Like I kind of feel like if we were invaded by Canada right now, we might lose. I'm just saying we might lose.
hold on 1 second. I'm gonna pause this real quick. Okay, we're back.
Yeah,
I was hoping it didn't stop it because I had to pause it because I know she wanted to come down. I just didn't want somebody running behind me, you know what I mean? That would have thought
oh,
something.
it's all right. We needed a break for our sponsors anyway.
I have none. I'm my own sponsor.
See, this is why you're not getting paid for these things. You need sponsors.
Oh,
You
I'll
know,
never charge the military people anyway.
I'll talk about. No, no, no. You don't have to charge them. We'll talk about it in Vegas when I'll come and speak for you. We'll have everybody
Hell yeah, I
sponsoring this.
need some sponsors. Somebody adopt me.
Yeah, I have been servicing just as much as they have. No, I am. I'm for it.
That's funny. So let me ask you this for everybody that is listening, or what I mean, not listening because they're just going to watch it. But anyway, like, who would you recommend if somebody did come to you for help to go to besides leaning on somebody who's actually, there are so many organizations out there. I see people throwing up organizations, and it's hard for me to grab every single link because, I'll be there forever.
Uh, well, and that's the difficult thing is there are these hotlines and you can call the VA and they have a million programs. The problem is like most of the things for these veterans is we have all these programs in place for them. Um, and all these benefits and there's a million things that are supposedly out there for veterans that we have no clue about and that's the problem with it is while they might exist in like Washington, like they don't exist in real life. Like, which is the kind of the frustrating thing is, if you are, a lot of veterans don't have homes or cars or whatever, and everybody or can turn in their cars to veterans for a donation. Well, those cars never go to anybody. Like I've asked a million veterans, I'm like, where are these cars going? Like, do you just turn in your RV? I could totally use RV. Where are these RVs going? So yeah, it's difficult. And again, I've always been able to utilize my friendships and the people that I serve with to if I'm having a rough day or if I'm going through some stuff, I've always had a pretty good network to call on my own, which I know a lot of soldiers probably don't. But it is difficult because again, one, everybody in the military is told, you have no pain, you have no weakness, you have nothing wrong with you, you cannot complain about a thing. Which also, once we get out in the real world, doesn't help them. So as far as programs go, like I don't even really have any except for the ones that my friend network, and again, luckily I've got amazing friends that are in. I've got airborne rangers that I'm friends with. I got people from the Navy that I'm friends with. I got my whole entire unit I'm still in contact with, or a portion of my unit I'm still in contact with.
Do you donate
So
to any of their charities?
I do, and I don't. I do like Wounded Warrior. I do, like I said, I have my Veterans Day show that I do, and I do all my volunteering through my shows and doing the USO stuff is kind of me. Like I will never charge a veteran to come out to a show because again I feel like laughter is the best medicine. And if anytime you're trying to get to one of my shows, you can hit me up on Instagram or Facebook, or if you have my number, call me and I will put you on the list, like for any veteran at any time. So just because I know things are tight, especially for the ones that are on disability, being on a fixed income, and it's not a lot, and fighting the VA for what you deserve is a very difficult process as well. And I know, like I went through that too. I was part of the military order of the Purple Heart, going through to get my disability through. I went through DAV to get my disability through, and ultimately it was me talking to other veterans on how they did it, and figuring out how to do it yourself. Is unfortunately so. Even though they have things in place, you're in my experience, it's been fellow service members helping each other out.
I like the Wounded Warrior Project too.
Wounded Warrior is
I
fantastic.
like them all, but I mean, Wounded Warrior, it seems like with that one, it actually goes to the people,
Oh, it does. It does. Yeah. Yeah.
and there are a lot of like messed up causes, and I mean, not specifically towards military, but I've noticed like when you donate to, say I was going to go clean out my closet, would I rather give that to Goodwill or would I rather give that to the Red Cross? I'm going to go with the Red Cross because I know it's going to go to the people, whereas Goodwill, they're going to mark up the price of the shit, put it on the shelves, and dude's going to be living large with the money. You
Right.
know,
But
I
by the way, they've
thought
like
about
tripled their price. Have you been to Goodwill lately? They've like tripled their prices. I'm like, what is happening, right? It's still all free for you. Why are you tripling your prices? Yeah, and I don't know.
charities like that shouldn't exist, I think. Because if they're doing it to make themselves richer instead of actually helping the people, then they don't need the fucking money to begin with. They need
Right.
to give it to who it belongs to.
Well,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and I don't want to get quoted or sued or whatever, but I believe if you look up the bylaws or whatever, like the Red Cross still only has to give 8% of what they make to the charity, I believe. So even the Red Cross, although they're widely known, like a lot of money goes other places as well. So it's very difficult to know where it's actually going to, and who knows where, if you're at the grocery store and you're giving quarters to veterans or to disability people, I
Yeah.
don't know where that goes. Probably to the cashier's tip jar. I don't know, but like,
They're keeping cashiers at the stores now. I might have chose the wrong profession.
right? I mean, you get tipped for anything nowadays. You're like,
Damn.
if I just tip you $20 to take my money, you didn't even make anything. What's happening? I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, me and you will stay on for a second, but I'm going to wrap this up for everybody else. We're going to say thank you, Matt, for your
No, thank you. Thank you, Daphne. Thank you, fellow vets. Hopefully, I don't think I gave them any information whatsoever. They're like, turn this guy out.
Other than he really, really, really wants to be adopted.
Right. Again.
All right, bye, guys. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
It's time to strap our boots on. This is a perfect day to die. Wipe the blood out of our eyes. This life there's no surrender, and there's nothing left for us to do. Find the strength to see this through. We are the ones who will never be broken. With our final breath, we'll fight to the death. We are soldiers, we are soldiers. Shoulder to shoulder, we stand shoulder to shoulder. We stand shoulder to shoulder. You can't erase us, you'll just have to face us. We stand shoulder to shoulder. We stand shoulder to shoulder. We stand shoulder to shoulder. You can't erase us, you'll just have to face us. Fair and life is rough. No amount of
tall, taking all the money that he'd win to spend it all on bailing out a friend. Good husband and a new dad, gives his son all the things he never had, just when he could call his house a home. Another fallen angel's moving on. This town's no place for a fallen angel. Who are we to hold you down? We miss having you around. This town's no place for a fallen angel. Way down here, thy will be done. I'm sending all my love to Kingdom Come. Sending all my love to Kingdom Come. To Kingdom When it's all coming down, calling all fallen angels. When it's all coming down, calling all fallen angels. They'll be waiting when it's all in. I can feel them everywhere I've ever been. Fate is never fair and life is rough. It's gonna be a good time catching up.